enjoyed coaching that game? Seeing that?
You know what? It's fun watching the guys, them work and then get rewarded for it. But in all honesty, when you're standing behind the bench, I'm thinking, our next 5, 6 games. To be quite honest with you, as you're watching it, you know you need to keep preparing. So a little bit later in the game, your brain is already turning to that.
You said a couple days ago that Paige Thompson's going to start scoring as long as he keeps shooting. And the last 2 games, pretty much what you were talking about, that eventually they were going to start going in and all the shots continue.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you just know it. You see it. You see, we've seen Kyle Okposo play really, really well the last few games, and you're with these guys every day. You've coached for obviously too many years to count, but you see ahead of time how these guys are getting and feeling their game and finding a rhythm, as I've talked about a lot. So there's certain signs that point to inevitability, that they're going to score, they're going to be successful by the work they put in, by the confidence they gain, and by the rhythm they gain. And you could see that starting to happen for Tage and Skinner and Oki in the last little bit here.
Special seeing Tage do that, though. I mean,
It is.
You watch him at 15 years old to have him put up a performance like that in the NHL.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, it's enjoyable to watch Tomer, having a history with him, knowing him when he was 16 years old, and watching him grind his way to this point in his career. There's a special meaning there when you go through that with somebody and you know they put the work in. So yeah, it was exciting, and honestly, the thing that sticks out was just the excitement of the bench and the players around him. Really tells you what person he is, and obviously we know he's a talented hockey player, but that speaks volumes for what type of person he is. And I get to know that, and I've known that for years, and then to see that and see a kid that it took so long for him to flourish and be recognized for the talent he is, to see him fight through that, now start to get some rewards for that work, it's definitely enjoyable to see.
How about the goal they got on the hat trick? Is that about as nice of a goal as you see?
That is, and we're trying to convince all our guys, score some of the ugly ones, and the pretty ones will just fall in there a lot. I think, we've been guilty of trying to pass the puck into the net over the last few games, and we got more direct, more assertive, and by virtue of that, the inevitability, these guys' instinctive talent comes out, and that was all instinct for Tomer. He went to the net hard, and he read the situation and let his talent flow with it, and that's what you get, and that's where we got Dahlin. That's where Dahlin is with his game now. He trusts it, that I don't have to figure it out before I go attack the guy. I'll figure it out as it happens, and just attack, and very nice to see.
How encouraging is it to see some of your top guys really flourishing early in the season like you have?
Yeah, well, it's a build. I mean, we're still really early in the season. We know every team is still building, so we can't get too far ahead of ourselves in that. There's a lot of work, and these guys, enjoy coming to the rink every day and working. So we just got to stay on it.
What's the thought when the game gets to 4-3? What's the thought?
The thought is we better go after them now, because they've. Any team feels that little bit of life. We got to go after them hard right now and can't sit back. So to break through there was great. Our message on the bench was, let's go. We got to get after them now, and they did that. So obviously they were rewarded for it. But
what does that say about the evolution of this team, though? It felt a little bit like last year against Detroit, and you weren't able to get through it. Tonight you turned it right around and got through it.
Yeah. Well, when I think again of the evolution, we do have a long way to go. So, but those are the things you want to see. These are the things you can't replicate. And as we said, you can't replicate this in training camp. You can't replicate it in all the training they do in the summertime. You have to go through the regular season, give up a goal, be crunched, and decide whether you're going to tighten up or get back after it. And again, you can only replicate that in game. We tried to use those scenarios last year. I spoke of that a lot, that adversity is going to make us better in the future, and it will continue to do that. Like I said, this is evolution. We know we have a lot of these guys continuing to be back now. They're in our franchise. We can see that building with the contracts we're signing. And they're young, and they got to go through this stuff, and they're going to keep going through it. As I mentioned, the tough road ahead, the challenging road ahead with the teams coming in or teams we're going to visit. There's another level we got to get to.
We can far as Jack's transformation the last 7 to 8 days, you talked about it a little bit this morning, but just what have you seen? Even beyond the goal, his hit tonight, it seems like he's reached another level.
He has reached another level, and probably a couple, and it's a credit to him as his talent. Little bit, miraculous, where he looked like things were challenging him, different areas, offensively, defensively. He was able to set, we sat him out a couple games just to catch his breath, really. And I remember mentioning you guys last year. He's like a homing torpedo. He can recalibrate and figure it out. And amazing how he came back in the lineup. Looks like a new player with new energy, and really a credit to him for being able to adjust himself. It wasn't really anything I did or the coaches did, other than real simple messages and basically supporting him, knowing we'd seen him a lot last year. And that's the nice part of having Rochester close is, he's a talented kid. He's going to do it.
Don, you had 14 different guys on the score sheet tonight and significantly more net presence than Saturday night. What does that say about the younger guys' ability to grasp the film and what you needed them to change to be able to adapt so quickly?
Yeah, I guess it says, I don't know if it says they're listening or not, but no, I don't want to make it sound like we're doing this as a coaching staff. We're not. These are guys that you point, you challenge, and they pick up. There's a lot of stuff that's nice that you hear them talking on the bench and situations you don't have to coach. But I think they collectively, they recognize that. We would bring it to their attention that they could score more by being a little bit more aggressive, and I think they just took over, honestly. It's fun to see, and it does say a lot. You don't have. We had a little bit more opportunity tonight than you typically would get. I think we caught a team on a more challenging night for them, but our guys did take advantage of that. So it's a credit for that. But the perspective, I know we probably did catch them on a little tougher night for them.
Well, Don, when you have these emotional types of games where people are breaking records or tying records, are you able to take a step back and kind of look at how this culture growth that you and Kevin and the staff have built and how it's finally having results?
Yeah, I don't ever want to do that, actually, because it's just too tough of a league. And I haven't done that as a coach. It's, as I mentioned, you're on that bench and this game, okay, we're in a situation where we're going to win this game down the stretch. You're already thinking about the next game. Honestly, you're thinking about, situations within the game. Okay, we got to get to that guy tomorrow morning to discuss it. Should have been simpler or easier, or are we communicating it right? So you're always processing like that. How can we get better? And in all honesty, we just need to keep getting better.
Obviously, it was a goal fest, but it took its time to get there. When you're at 1-1 in the beginning of the second period and the puck just didn't look like it was falling your way at any point, how do you dig yourself out of that and get those goals?
Yeah, those are the situations that I love us being in, because that's a situation I mentioned. You cannot replicate that potential tension, where you feel you deserve something more, you feel like you deserve to be up a couple, you hit a post here, we need to go through that knowing that embrace it. It's going to happen again. It's probably going to happen worse. We know that. So how are we going to deal with it? And those are the things we're doing and trying to do behind the scenes, is use all those as moments that we can grow, become something better because of. And so adversity is a good thing as long as you're winning hockey games, and that's our intent. And we know we're going to have to face this stuff. So I like the way our guys handled it.